Welcome to Let's Just Talk About Vampires. Let's just talk about them, guys. Because we have to. Somebody has to. Are they our friends, or are they just some toothy freaks? Today we will decide, and we will put the issue, we will address it, perhaps even put it behind us. But it must be discussed. I'm just observing. If just possible, no more. If there's seats, you know, I know it's farther back, but we're gonna we'll put a sort of limit on anyone on the floor now, and just from this point on, chairage, if that's okay. But everyone on the floor now is fine. So, to begin, I have an incredible panel of vampire experts. Between them, they have wrestled with, killed, spoken to, passed by, and generally interacted with many vampires. We have scoured the world for these vampire experts, and now they are here to speak to you and give you definitive answers about these people and their problems. If I could just ask all our panelists to just say their name, give a very brief introduction, and state, you know, in a word or two, your general position on vampires. You don't have to, nothing complicated, because we're going to get into the specifics, just...
Okay. I'm Barry Goldblatt. I'm a literary agent in New York, and my position on vampires is, if you could actually make them interesting, I'm interested.
I'm John Green. I'm a young adult novelist who does not write about vampires. I am a huge, huge fan of Scott Westerfeld's Vampires.
Which he, until a few minutes ago, had forgotten he'd written.
I don't doubt it, actually. Kid's written a lot of books. But yeah, that's my position. My other positions would perhaps be controversial.
We'll be getting to that later.
I'm Robin Wasserman. I'm also a young adult novelist, and I guess my position on vampires is of the kill at first sight philosophy.
I'm Scott Westerfeld. I write novels for money and fame. What about vampires? I have a whole theory about vampires, but this would be the inappropriate moment. Unless you want to hear it right now. Really quickly. This is not, you know, this is an old theory that lots of people have said over the years, which is why I call it the Westerfeld theory of vampires. and it's that, you know, we live in this culture that thinks fame is totally awesome, and where everyone is meant to think they could become famous. Like somebody could just see you in a coffee bar and realize how cool you always knew you were. Or see you on the YouTube or whatever, and then you would be made famous, and you would suddenly be beautiful, and everyone would do what you say, and you would sparkle in the sunlight, and you would become, in a way, immortal because you're famous. I mean, Marilyn is still alive, right? And that is really what vampire novels are about. It's about, you know, getting discovered. Getting bitten is being discovered. And vampires are just like famous people, which works both ways, both on the positive side and the negative side, because, you know, famous people die young, but then they become immortal. So that's my theory of vampires. That is the Westerfeld theory of vampires, is that they're just famous people, and it's a way of talking about how we all expect to become famous or immortal or in some way better than we are now because something else is trapped inside us.
I'm Jennifer Lovren. I'm also yikes! I'm also a literary agent in New York, and I didn't have a feeling about vampires at all until Maureen said I was on this panel.
It's okay to have no feelings about vampires.
Then I started looking around, and I'm pretty sure there's a vampire who lives in my neighborhood. And I thought that it was about sexually transmitted diseases, not people, but, you know.
Famous people have those too, you know.
Yeah, it's okay to have no opinion about vampires. That can be your stated position. And I have no position on vampires. I'm Laurie Johnson, and I sometimes like them, and I sometimes don't like them, and I am basically without portfolio on the vampire situation. But it does seem like, when I first came to LeakyCon 2009, I was unaware at that point that there was sort of a, you guys can sort of fill in the blanks on this one a little bit, but sometimes I felt like there was a kind of, there's Harry Potter, and there's Twilight, and they had better not come over here. Now I know that that's not necessary, but just confirm or deny a little bit that there is a little bit of that feeling. Yeah. I only, because we're not opening up to Q&A yet, we'll be doing that later, but I just need one person to maybe do a little dance with me. If a phone goes off, we will dance with it. Maybe tell me why. Because I think it would be a good starting. Whee! I need to jump, sorry. Got a lot of skirt. Okay.
I think what always annoyed me about the Twilight fans is that they said, Twilight's the next Harry Potter. And I read it and I thought, why?
So it's really a Jets and the Sharks kind of thing.
Yes. Also, there was several girls in my school who they knew I was a Harry Potter fan. They'd come up to me and try to explain why Bella was a wonderful female role model, and I was like, I respect your opinion, but I really, really don't want to hear it right now. And they scream really loudly.
Okay. All right. What I just took from that, and again, we can sort of crowdsource this response. I have to figure out how to get back up. I've been doing a lot of this. Is that it seems to be, you know, it assumes that Twilight is all vampire books, which it is most assuredly not. And B, it seems to be maybe some sort of throwdown over perceived quality of the story or perceived worth of the world or the story. And the first essential problem in all of that is, why did, you know, because it's so famous, I'm just gonna say, because you're almost not allowed to say it at some places, like, don't say Twilight. Don't bring it up. But I'm gonna bring it up. It's very, very popular. People have heard of it, right? It's a very popular book. Kids like it. Just a little bit, just anyone has any, this is maybe a touchy question, but does anyone have any kind of pet theories on, you know, I kind of feel like we in this room probably get why Harry Potter is popular. I feel like everybody in this room has an operating theory on that. But people might not have an operating theory on maybe why something like Twilight has caught on and resonates with people so much. And are there any kind of thoughts on why that might be? Because they might be equally valid.